Jack about a potential and very serious threat to Jabot.
I've stolen Haynes' AI program. I want to make a deal with you. Are you interested?
The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers for Thursday, October 30th, reveal that Michael Baldwin, Christian LeBlanc, will get a risky opportunity while Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, has a proposal for Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, to consider. At Jack Abbott's, Peter Bergman, urging, Billy will meet up with Phyllis to extend a proposition, one that involves giving Phyllis whatever she wants to join Team Abbott. Of course, Phyllis wants control of Jabot, so she'll know there's no way she's going to get that unless she lets Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, play dirty with the AI program first. Even if Phyllis was promised the CEO seat, she couldn't trust the Abbotts to keep their word or that she'd stay on the throne. Phyllis still holds a grudge over the last time she was forced out, so she presumably won't be interested in putting herself in a position where that could happen again. That said, Phyllis and Billy will at least have an exchange of information on Thursday's YNR episode. Although Phyllis might claim Victor's going after Arabesque and not Jabot, Billy surely won't believe that for a second. There's no universe in which Victor would pass up a chance to target Jack, so Billy may feel confident Phyllis is involved in the theft and trying to throw him off track. As for Jack, he'll get ready for the rocky road ahead. Jack will plan to do whatever it takes to protect his family's company and keep Victor from wreaking havoc, but it's out of his hands at this point. Kane Ashby's Billy Flynn program is a serious threat and could make major trouble at Jabot the moment Victor unleashes it. Jack will do everything he can to be prepared, but some corporate chaos is still on the way. Meanwhile, Victor will summon Michael for a meeting and make an offer he hopes will be too good to refuse. It turns out Victor will be willing to give Michael another chance, so their friendship could be repaired if Michael plays his cards right. However, Victor is the kind of person who requires total loyalty. Between that fact and the plot that's brewing against the Abbotts, Michael is bound to have some serious reservations about all this. Plus, Michael will know that by getting in too deep with Victor, he could infuriate Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Tracy E. Bregman once more. Since Michael has already been on thin ice with Lauren, he may worry about pushing her away for good this time. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Michael will get updates on the latest news about Phyllis's stolen program deal and weigh his options after Victor's offer. The air in Genoa City is thick with the scent of impending drama, and this Thursday, October 30th, promises an episode where loyalties are tested, desperate bargains are struck, and the ghosts of past misdeeds loom larger than the jack-o'-lanterns on every porch. As the city edges toward Halloween, the real frights aren't coming from costumed revelers, but from the high-stakes gambles being played in corporate boardrooms and shadowy corners. In a stunning hour of television, Michael Baldwin is presented with a professional opportunity that could cost him everything, while Billy Abbott makes Phyllis Summers an offer so audacious it could either be her salvation or her final undoing. Michael's moral crossroads, a deal with the devil? The episode picks up in the immediate aftermath of the bombshell dropped by Jordan's enigmatic associate, Martin. He didn't come to Genoa City for a social call. He came with a very specific and dangerously tempting proposition for Genoa City's most formidable legal eagle, Michael Baldwin, Christian LeBlanc. We find Michael in his starkly modern office, the panoramic view of the city, doing little to calm the storm behind his eyes. Martin, cool and collected in a way that feels inherently threatening, lays out the terms. He represents a consortium of international investors, a group with deep pockets and Michael suspects even deeper secrets. They are in the midst of a colossal, multi-billion-dollar merger, a deal so vast it would make even Victor Newman blink. The problem? A pesky and tenacious U.S. federal investigator is digging into their affairs, raising questions about compliance, offshore accounts, and practices that skirt the very edge of the law. They don't want just any lawyer. They want Michael Baldwin. They've studied his record, his ruthlessness, his brilliance, his unparalleled ability to navigate the most complex legal mazes and emerge victorious. They want him to lead their global legal team, a position that would come with a salary and bonus structure so astronomical it would set up the Baldwin-Fenmore family for generations. This isn't just a job, Michael. Martin says, his voice a low, persuasive hum. This is a legacy. You'd be the tip of the spear. And we take very, very good care of our spearhead. Lauren Fenmore, Tracy E. Bregman, who has come by to surprise her husband for a lunch date, overhears the tail end of the conversation. The look on her face is one of pure dread. She knows her husband. She knows the part of him that thrills to the challenge, that is addicted to the high-stakes game of legal warfare. She also knows the cost. After Michael leaves to walk Martin out, she confronts him, her voice trembling with a fear she rarely shows. Michael, no. Please, tell me you're not considering this, she pleads. These people... I felt a chill just listening to him. This isn't like defending Victor, or even Nick. This is different. This feels dirty. Michael runs a hand over his face, the conflict raging within him palpable. Lauren, do you have any idea what they're offering? We could retire. We could travel the world. Faith's college, her future, it would be secured 100 times over. At what cost? Lauren fires back, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Your reputation? Our peace? Your safety? What happens if you win for them, and then they decide you know too much? Or, what happens if you lose? The fall would be from a height we can't even imagine. This is the core of Michael's dilemma. This opportunity appeals to the very foundation of his identity, the scrappy fighter who loves to win against impossible odds. But Lauren is appealing to the man he has worked so hard to become, a husband, a father, a pillar of the community. The risk isn't just professional failure, it's the potential for moral corruption and the very real threat to his family's safety. His decision will hinge on a fundamental question. Is he still the shark who needs to prove he's the biggest in the water, or is he truly content being the man who comes home to his wife and daughter every night? Billy's grand gesture, a proposal born of chaos. Across town, in the bustling, neon-lit chaos of the Grand Phoenix, another kind of proposal is taking shape, one just as risky, but fueled by a different kind of desperation. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, armed with a folder full of market analyses and a heart full of misguided guilt, lays out his plan for Phyllis Summers, Gina Tognoni. He finds her in her office, the door closed against the world. The vibrant, fiery Phyllis he knows is dimmed, replaced by a woman frayed at the edges by her constant battle with Chance Chancellor and the looming specter of prison. Billy sees not just a business partner, but a woman he cares for deeply, drowning. I have an idea, Billy begins, his usual cocky energy tempered with a rare, solemn intensity. A way to not just fight Chance, but to win. To make you untouchable. Phyllis looks up, her skepticism warring with her desperate hope. Billy, unless that folder contains I'm not sure what you can do. It's better than a pardon, he says, a familiar Abbott spark in his eyes. It's a revolution. I want to launch a new, standalone media division for Chancellor Winters, and I want you to be the face of it. Phyllis blinks, certain she's misheard. You want me to be a news anchor? No, not an anchor. A personality. The personality, Billy corrects, leaning forward. Think about it. Redefining Genoa City with Phyllis Summers. A digital platform, a podcast, a live-stream talk show. You'd be a commentator, an investigator. We'd give you a platform to tell your side of the story, to expose the hypocrisy in this town, to go after Chance and the GSPD with the full force of a major media outlet behind you. The sheer, audacious scale of the plan leaves Phyllis momentarily speechless. Billy's pitch is a masterclass in understanding what makes Phyllis tick. It offers her what she craves most. Control, a microphone, and a weapon. We make you the story, Billy continues, his voice dropping. But we make you the narrator. We put you so far out in front of the public, with such a powerful voice, that for Chance to come after you would look like a political witch hunt. He'd be persecuting the most famous and famously outspoken media figure in the state. The court of public opinion would be on our side long before we ever set foot in a court of law. For Phyllis, it's a siren's call. This is more than a defense strategy. It's an affirmation of her entire identity. It tells her that her chaos, her loudness, her refusal to be quiet aren't liabilities. They are her greatest assets. It's a proposal that validates every impulsive, dramatic, and boundary-pushing instinct she has ever had. But the risks are astronomical. She would be putting a target on her own back, inviting more scrutiny, not less. Every past mistake would be dredged up and put under a microscope. She would be gambling her entire future on her ability to control a narrative that has, more than once, spiraled wildly out of her control. Can she truly outmaneuver the district attorney's office with a media blitz? Or is Billy, in his desire to save her, simply handing her enough rope to hang herself in front of a live audience? Her decision will be a defining moment, a choice between fighting from the shadows or stepping into the blinding spotlight for one last, all-or-nothing performance. Collateral damage and shifting alliances. As these two central dramas unfold, the ripples are felt across Genoa City. At the Chancellor Winter's office, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, is growing increasingly concerned about Billy's erratic focus. When he bursts in, buzzing with energy about his new project, she immediately shuts him down. "Billy, we have a company to run. Our merger is still on shaky ground. We can't afford a side quest, especially one that involves Phyllis and her legal problems." The tension between the Abbott siblings reaches a new high, with Lily representing cold, hard business reality and Billy championing a chaotic, emotionally driven crusade. This conflict threatens the very foundation of their partnership. Meanwhile, at the Genoa City Athletic Club, the fallout from Michael's potential decision begins. Lauren, seeking counsel and a friendly ear, confides in Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell. The irony is not lost on either woman, the former wife seeking solace from the current wife about the man they both loved. Christine, ever the voice of reason and justice, urges caution. "Lauren, you have to trust your gut. If this feels wrong, it probably is. Michael has come so far. Don't let him be seduced by a shadowy figure promising him the world." This conversation forges a new, tentative bond between the two women, united in their concern for the complicated man they share a history with. And at the Jabot mansion, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, continue their dangerous dance. Their alliance, built on mutual ambition and a shared disdain for the current corporate structure, is deepening. In a clandestine meeting, they discuss how the potential instability at Chancellor Winters, caused by Billy's Phyllis project, could create a power vacuum for them to exploit. While Abbott is distracted playing media mogul, Audra purrs, "We can be positioning ourselves. Every crisis is an opportunity, Kyle. Let's make sure we're the ones who benefit from this one." Their scheming adds another layer of peril to an already volatile situation. Thursday's Final Reckoning. Thursday, October 30th, is an episode about the price of ambition and the lengths we go to for those we love, even when our methods are flawed. Michael Baldwin stands on the precipice, looking out at a future of unimaginable wealth and power, but he can hear his wife's fearful voice echoing in the silence, reminding him of what truly matters. Will he choose the legacy of a king or the contentment of a family man? And for Phyllis Summers, Billy Abbott has handed her a grenade with the pin already pulled. It could blow a hole in her legal troubles, clearing a path to freedom, or it could detonate in her face, ensuring her destruction is a public spectacle. Will she embrace the chaos one more time, betting on herself against all odds? In Genoa City, the most terrifying monsters aren't the ones who go bump in the night, but the choices that haunt us in the light of day. Tune in for an unforgettable episode that will leave you breathless, proving that when your back is against the wall, the most dangerous move is often the one you never saw coming. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, recap for Wednesday, October 29th, reveals that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, will suspect Sienna Bacall's, Tamara Braun, affair with Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, before Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, makes a tempting offer. At the hospital in Los Angeles, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, and Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, will show up to give Nick and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, some support. While Victoria and Nikki comfort Sharon, Nick will decide to question Sienna again and try to get to the bottom of what happened to Noah. At the Shadow Room, Kyle will return for the Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, intel that Sienna hinted about. Sienna will sit down with Kyle and admit She has questions for him too regarding Noah. Kyle will confess the sibling connection between Noah and his ex-wife, Summer Newman, Allison Lanier. So Sienna will find out Nick is his former father-in-law. While Sienna is pumping Kyle for Noah crash info, Nick will pop up and seem suspicious over this meeting. However, Kyle will claim he's just trying to get info on Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, since he's concerned for Claire. After Kyle steps aside to wait for Sienna to have a conversation with Nick, she'll face another interrogation. Nick will insist he needs to know who killed his son, and will eventually ask if he can talk to the staff. Sienna will suggest they're busy and short-staffed tonight, but she'll add that Nick can come back tomorrow with his questions. When Nick seems annoyed, Sienna will wonder if he thinks she wants to talk to her staff, so they can get their story straight. Nick will reply that he wasn't thinking that until Sienna said so. At one point, Nick will push Sienna to help him so that there's no trouble for her or her club. Sienna will assume that's a threat, but Nick will deny it and act like he's just willing to do anything for Noah's sake. On Wednesday's Y&R episode, Nick will also be surprised to learn the police haven't paid Sienna a visit as part of the investigation.